what happened was I went home and told my dad. He always asked me, well, how'd you do this morning? And I was just mad. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't seem to hit these coyotes. And he chuckled. I remember that to a T. He goes, well, he said, one thing you need to do is start paying attention in your scope. When you pull the trigger, instead of pulling your gun down and trying to look over the top of the scope to look at the coyote, try to keep your eye in the scope and see where that bullet hits. See the impact of the bullet. First part of making the shot that we talked about is some of my form. Now we're going to increase it a notch. How do you make all those running shots? I've written about this in Hunting Illustrated, and some of the things that have went in to my success as being a good shot at coyotes. It doesn't happen overnight, and it definitely takes shooting a lot. Whether you're shooting prairie dogs or you're actually going out and shooting at coyotes, you've got to be shooting at something so you can learn and get your brain wrapped around how the accuracy of your gun, the bullet, your scope, yourself, how it all works in conjunction so you can become a better shot. The shots that you're going to see right now, bear in mind, they've come from 25, 30 years of experience. And I didn't just wake up one day and voila, I'm shooting. I remember going home to my dad. I used to drive around early in the morning in Nebraska before the sun would come up, and you would catch a coyote trying to get to cover. And 99% of all the coyotes I ever saw in Nebraska farm country, they were always on a dead run. Some of them you saw were loping, some were trotting, but they never stopped and gave you a shot because the land was so open. They knew that a vehicle was danger, and they knew also that if you ever slowed down, you were a big part of danger and they needed to get out of Dodge in a hurry. So the only shots I ever had growing up were running shots. And I remember coming home one time after driving around that morning. I missed 2 different coyotes, and they weren't hard shots. They were loping. They were probably 100, 200 yards away. I felt like I should have had them. I was putting the crosshairs right on the coyotes, and I was steady. I took my time, and I'd pull the trigger, and I'd be just expecting to hear the bullet hit or the coyote rolling around. Didn't happen that way. But what happened was I went home and told my dad. He always asked me, well, how'd you do this morning? And I was just mad. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I can't seem to hit these coyotes. And he chuckled. I remember that to a T. He goes, well, he said, one thing you need to do is start paying attention in your scope. When you pull the trigger, instead of pulling your gun down and trying to look over the top of the scope to look at the coyote, try to keep your eye in the scope and see where that bullet hits. See the impact of the bullet. So I think it was the very next coyote I went after or driving around, and I saw the next day, I saw that I hit way behind that coyote. So I just put the crosshairs even further in front of the coyote and kept getting closer. So I pretty much walked the crosshairs or walked the bullet right into the coyote. I kept putting the crosshairs further out in front of the coyote, and I got my first coyote. Very happy. I can tell you the rest was history, and that's pretty much how I learned to make running shots. And you'll see on Predator Quest, I get it all the time. How do you make those shots, Les? And it just comes from years and years and years of experience. I can tell you right now, with me getting older, my eyesight's getting a little worse. I can't hear very good. I've gone downhill on my shooting. I can still shoot well, but I'm not near the shooter I used to be. And I joke about that quite a bit. You know, there was a time in my life where in the competition arena, I didn't think I could miss. If I pulled the trigger, I knew I was gonna get the coyote. I was that confident in my gun, my bullet, my optics, myself, and It's not being arrogant, it's just that I was confident, very confident. I'm still confident, and I'm gaining a lot more confidence again, but anytime you shoot at a running coyote and they're zigging and zagging and jumping over sagebrush, they're hard to hit. But you've got to follow that coyote in your crosshairs, let him run for a little bit, watch him straighten out, watch him line out, lead him, and then at the right time pull the trigger. And that's what I do. There's times that I could probably make 3-4 shots at one coyote, but instead I just take my time and make one shot. And a lot of times, if I take my time, I can get that coyote. You've seen a few amazing shots, and I even amaze myself just watching them back. It makes me feel good knowing that I can shoot like that.